Hi guys, this is yours Madan Mohan Reddy. In part 1 we got to know about pre-Mauryan period in brief. Today in part 2 let's learn about the Mauryan empires, sources of their history and Emperor Chandra Gupta Maurya. Without further delay let's jump into the video. The Mauryan Empire. Before going into main topic let us know about Magadha Empire. Magadha. Between the 6th and the 4th centuries before Common Era, Magadha became the most powerful Mahajanapda. Modern historians explain this development in a variety of ways. Magadha was a region where agriculture was especially productive. Besides, iron mines were accessible and provided resources for tools and weapons. Elephants, an important component of the army, was found in forests in the region. Also, the Ganga and its tributaries provided a means of cheap and convenient communication. However, early Buddhist and Jaina writers who wrote about Magdha attributed its power to the policies of individuals, ruthlessly ambitious kings, of whom Bimbisara, Ajatshastru and Mahapadma Nanda are the best known, and their ministers who helped implement their policies. Initially, Rajagaha was the capital of Magadha. The old name means house of the king. Rajagaha was a fortified settlement located amongst hills. Later in the 4th century before Common Era, the capital was shifted to Patliputra, commanding routes of communication along the Ganga. Now let us look at the Mauryas. The Mauryan Empire was the first and one of the greatest empire that were established on Indian soil. The vast Mauryan Empire, stretching from the valley of the Oxus to the delta of Kaveri, was given a well-knit common administration. Chandragupta Maurya was the first ruler who unified entire India under one political unit. About Mauryan rulers we have epigraphically sources, literary sources, foreign accounts and materials obtained from archaeological excavations. The Arthashastra gives us detailed information about the administrative system of the Mauryan Empire. The work was written by Kautilya, who is also known as Chanakya. Some scholars think that Kautilya was the real architect of the Mauryan Empire and was also the prime minister of Chandragupta Maurya. Megasthenes, the Greek ambassador from the court of Selectus to that of Chandragupta Maurya, wrote accounts of India and Indian people. His book, Indica, is lost, but some fragments of it are known to us in the form of quotations in the works of the later Greek writers. However, the most important and authentic source for the history of Mauryan period is provided by the inscriptions of Ashoka. Sources of Mauryan history. Number 1. Epigraphical evidences. The most authentic source of Mauryan history is the epigraphical evidence. The edicts of Ashoka are the oldest, the best preserved and the most precisely dated epigraphic records of India. The inscriptions are engraved on rocks, boulders, cave walls and pillars of stone. The inscriptions of Ashoka are of two kinds. The smaller group consists of declaration of the king as a lay Buddhist to his church. These describe his own acceptance of Buddhism and his relationship with the Samdha. The second group of important inscriptions consist of major and minor rock edicts and the pillar edicts. They describe his famous policy of Dhamma. These inscriptions were installed in prominent places either near towns or on important trade and travel routes or in the proximity of religious centers and places of religious importance. Number 2. Literary sources. Of the religious sources, the Buddhist and Jain traditions, the early Dharmashastra, are of great importance. The Ashoka Vadhana and Divya Vadhana are two Buddhist texts containing information about Bimbisara, Ashoka's expeditions to Taxila to suppress a rebellion, and about his conversion to Buddhism. Deepvansa and Mahavansa describe in detail the role played by Ashoka in the spreading of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. Chaitra or Parisisthaparvan, or known as Biography of Chanakya, of Hemachandra, provides very interesting information on Chandragupta Maurya. Amongst the Brahmanical works, the Puranas give information on the history of the Mauryas. Megasthenes' Indica is another source in which he had described the physical features of the country's soil, climate, animals and plants, its government and religion, the manners of the people and their art. This book in original form has been lost, but most passages have been preserved in form of epitomes and quotations, which are found scattered here and there in the later writings of various Greek and Roman authors such as Strabo, Arrian and Plinius. Another important source which gives valuable information on the Mauryan period is the Arthashastra. It is believed to be the work of Vishnugupta Kautilya, also known as Chanakya. He was the chief advisor of Chandragupta Maurya. His book Arthashastra is a standard work on politics and art of government. It is considered to be the most valuable work in the field of secular literature. Mudra Rakshasa is another important work which throws some light on Chandragupta Maurya's career. It is a drama written by Vaishakha in the Gupta period. The author collected all the information available to him in the 5th century after Common Era. This drama gives the detail of the revolution by which Chandragupta Maurya overthrew the Nandas. It also mentioned that Chandragupta belonged to a low caste. Number 3. Foreign sources. As a sequence of Alexander's invasions of India, a number of Greek travelers visited India. They gave valuable information of India to the outside world. Nichus was deputed by Alexander to explore the coast between the Indus and the Persian Gulf. Vanzicratus took part in the voyage with Nichus and afterwards wrote a book about the voyage in India. Megasthenes was sent as an ambassador to the court of Chandragupta Maurya by Seleucus Nicator, the Greek ruler of Persia. His account about Mauryan India is compiled in Indica. Number 4. Archaeological excavations. Archaeological excavations have been conducted at a number of Mauryan sites. Excavations at Kaushambi, Rajagaha, Patliputra, Hastinapur, and Taxila have helped us to reconstruct the historical development of the period. Number 5. Numismatic evidence. The Mauryan Empire was based on the money economy. Kautilya refers to Suvarna, silver pana and copper mashaka as a token currency. A hoard of punch-marked silver coins were found at Golakpur at a site of ancient Patliputra belonging to pre-Mauryan times. Most of these coins have only symbols like tree in railing, sun, moon, mountain, and animals, birds etc. punched or stamped on them. These symbols on the coins had probably some connection with local commerce such as the guilds, local or provincial administration, the royal and dynastic symbols etc. The sites from where these coins have been found imply that these places were inhabited during the Mauryan period. It is considered to be the most valuable work in the field of secular literature. Mudra Rakshasa is another important work which throws some light on Chandragupta Maurya's career. It is a drama written by Vaishakha in the Gupta period. The author collected all the information available to him in the 5th century after Common Era. This drama gives the detail of the revolution by which Chandragupta Maurya overthrew the Nandas. It also mentioned that Chandragupta belonged to a low caste. Number 6. Evidences from art and architecture. The Mauryan art remains include chaityas, viharas, stupas, animal capitals surmounting the pillars. On some pillars the edicts were inscribed. These remains give us an information about the material used at that time, about the craftsmanship, about the peaceful times, efficient administration, religion of the king and people etc. From these stupas, pillars, caves we can see the progress of Mauryan art in different spheres like architecture, sculpture, art of polishing, engineering and art of ornamentation. Now let us know about the importance of Magadha. The kingdom of Magadha rose to pre-eminence during the period of Bimbisara and became the first great empire in India by the time of Nanda. Magadha occupied a strategic position of geographical importance. It was bound on the north and west by the river Gangas and sun on the south by the spurs of the Vindhyas and on the east by the river Champa. In this way it was safe from all four sides. Even its two capitals Rajagaha and Patliputra were situated at a strategic position from a geographic viewpoint. Its first capital Rajagaha was surrounded by 5 hills forming a natural defense, while its second capital Pataliputra being at the junction of the Gangas and the sun had natural means of defense. Natural resources were also favorable to Magadha. The rich iron deposits were situated not far away from Rajagaha. It was from this that its rulers could make effective and strong weapons. Its adversaries lacked reserves of iron ore and could not equip themselves with weapons of such high quality. Hence they were easily defeated by Magadhan rulers. Thus the local iron ore deposits made possible better implements and weapons and a profitable trade in iron. The land of Magadha was also fertile, which yielded rich harvests. Heavy rainfall made the land more productive even without irrigation. They produced varieties of paddy which are mentioned in the early Buddhist texts. Land taxes could be kept high, which proved to be regular and substantial source of income to the state, without which the maintenance of a big army could not be possible and the empire could neither be built nor consolidated. Neighboring forests provided timber for buildings and elephants for the army. Now let us know about Emperor Chandragupta Maurya, who was the chief among the Mauryan dynasty. Chandragupta Maurya lived in 324 to 300 before Common Era. The Buddhist sources like Mahavamsa and Dipavamsa describe Chandragupta Maurya as a scion of the Kshatriya clan of the Mauryas branch of Sakyas who lived in Pipalivana in eastern Uttar Pradesh. The Mudrajakshasa play written by Vishakha Datta uses the terms like Vrishla and Kulahina for Chandragupta, which mean a person of humble origin. Tuscan, a Greek writer, also says that Chandragupta was born in humble life. According to Buddhist sources, Chandragupta's father was killed in a battle and he was brought up by his maternal uncle. Chanakya, finding the signs of royalty in the child Chandragupta, took him as his pupil and educated him at Taxila, which was then a great center of learning. Chandragupta's early life and education at Taxila is indirectly proved by the fact that the Greek sources says that he had seen Alexander in course of the latter's campaign of Punjab. The details of Chandragupta's conquests and empire-building process are not available. From the Greek and Jain sources, it seems that Chandragupta took advantage of the disturbances caused by the invasion of Alexander and his sudden death in 232 before Common Era in Babylon. He first overthrew the Greek Kshatripas ruling in the region of northwestern India. After liberating northwestern India from the Greek rule, Chandragupta defeated the Nanda king and captured him. After defeating Nanda, Chandragupta became the ruler of the Magadha Empire. Chandragupta's western and southern Indian conquests are known through indirect evidences. The Junagadh rock inscription of Rudradaman says that a dam on the Sudarshana lake for irrigation was constructed by Pushyagupta, a provincial governor of Chandragupta Maurya. Later, Yavana Raja Tashafa excavated canals for irrigation during Ashoka's reign. Similarly, the find of Ashokan inscriptions at Girnar Hills in Junagadh district in Gujarat and at Sopara Thane district Maharashtra shows that these areas formed part of Mauryan Empire. Ashoka's inscription have been found at Muski, Yeragodi and Chitaldurga in Karnataka. Rock Edict 2 and 13 of Ashoka mentions that his immediate neighboring states were those of Cholas, Pandyas, Satyaputras and Keralaputras. Since Ashoka and his father Bimbisara are not known to have made conquest in South India, it can be said that it was conquered by Chandragupta. This conclusion is further strengthened by the Jain tradition, which says that in his old age Chandragupta abdicated the throne and retired to Sravangola in Karnataka with his teacher the Jain ascetic Bhadrabahu. Local inscriptions of later period refer to his giving his life as a devout Jaina by fast unto death at that place. Chandragupta defeated the invading army of the Greek Kshatrapa Seleucus, who had succeeded Alexander in the eastern part of his empire. This victory was achieved in about 305 before Common Era. The Greek writers don't give details of the war but state that a treaty was concluded in which Seleucus conceded the territories of Kandahar, Kabul, Herat and Baluchistan, and Chandragupta presented him with 500 elephants. This also led to the matrimonial alliance between the two. Perhaps Seleucus married his daughter to Chandragupta Maurya or to his son Bimbisara. Seleucus sent Megasthenes as his ambassador to the court of Chandragupta. Chandragupta established a vast empire which, with the exception of Kalinga, extended from Afghanistan in the west of Assam in the east and from Kashmir in north to Karnataka in south. This is indirectly proved by the find spots of the edicts of his grandson Ashoka. Ashoka is said to have added only Kalinga to the Mauryan Empire, and there is no definite evidence that his father Bimbisara made only conquests at all. Chandragupta Maurya is said to have ruled for 24 years from 324 before Common Era to 300 before Common Era. Let's know about Samrat Bimbisara in the upcoming video. Thank you guys. I hope this information that I have provided to you will be very useful. If you like this video, you can like, comment and share your opinion. Subscribe to my channel and select bell icon all to get videos like this.